Hi, my name is Tuli and today I will talk you through some custom analytics in Teamtailor. We'll have a look at specifically the historic reporting options and how you can either create completely your own reports or use some of our templated options. Let's have a look. Let's start by clicking into the Analytics tab. In your Analytics tab, you'll be able to find your custom reporting options behind the Custom Reports tab here. On the right-hand side, when you click onto the pink plus button, you are provided with two report types: historic reports and snapshot reports. But today we will be focusing on the historic report option. The difference in these two is that the historic reports will also show you data from any deleted candidates or deleted jobs, whereas the snapshot one will only show you data that is currently in your platform. When you choose the historic report type, you are firstly provided with the option of either creating your report completely from scratch, or you can also use one of our pre-ready-made templated options here. For today's example, we'll choose the highest template in here. When you first get to your template, you already start seeing some data appearing here in the different data tables. And the data is possible to be filtered, and you can also find custom fields in your filtering options, as well as you can of course choose a date range for when you want to receive this data for. For example, let's choose last year for our example today. For all the existing charts in your template, when you click onto the three dots here on the right-hand side, you will have the opportunity of editing these charts. You can show data tables, so just the numbers displayed here. We can also export these as CSV, move them down if we don't want to see them at the top of the list anymore, as well as you can of course completely delete charts. Whether you are wanting to add data tables onto your existing template or whether you're creating your report from scratch, adding these data charts happens the same way by clicking onto the pink plus button here on the right-hand side. From there, you will find the options of adding a bar chart, line chart, pie chart, or data table. Let's firstly have a look at how to add a bar chart. What you'll firstly need to do in here is to add a primary axis. So basically, whatever you want to measure your data by, whether it, for example, be a date range, such as date, week, month, or something like that, or whether it's by something different, such as departments and locations, for example. For this example, let's choose the option of a week. From there, you will then get to add a metric on what you're actually wanting to measure. For example, let's say we would like to see how many published jobs have been created per week. In addition to that, you will also have the opportunity of adding other metrics or adding a breakdown. For example, another metric could be then to count the applications for those jobs created. They will then be displayed here side by side, as you can see now on my chart on the left-hand side. What we can then do from here is choose if we would like to, for example, display our chart horizontally, or if we would also like to sort on these details or customize the directions on which these are displayed. You can also limit these results if you would only like to see a certain amount of them at the time. Now let's have a look at our next chart option, which is the line chart. In the line chart, on your primary axis, you will only be able to choose a date range, since this is mainly used to measure something during a certain period of time. For today's example, let's choose a month option. From there, we can also add a metric on what we would actually like to measure. For example, let's choose the sourced candidates. You can, of course, again, add additional metrics or breakdowns and, for example, hide months when you don't have any data to show. The next chart option that you will be able to find in here is the pie chart. Same as before, you will get to choose the breakdown as well as a metric on what you would like to measure. For example, let's choose messages sent by a department. You will then get to choose some of the data density options down here, either to show all of the different values, or for example, if you have multiple smaller values, you can also group them together into a section called Other. You can also then choose to show only top values, for example, if you would only like to see the top 5 values that you have there. As your last chart option here, you'll be able to find the data table. On the left-hand side here, you will again get to add your primary axis, so basically what you would want to measure something by. These are the same options that we have seen previously, so for example, time frames, job settings, traffic measurements, and so on. When you click onto the plus button here, you will then get to choose the metrics that you would like to see, such as, for example, reject reasons, as well as we can then add another one for sourced candidates. Now we can see these info appear here in a more of a data format, which we can then of course export out from the platform later on. Lastly, remember that when you have finished adding all of your charts in here, you will always have the opportunity of editing them later on. Down the bottom here also, you will have the opportunity to firstly customize, for example, your report name, as well as if you would like for this report to be only visible to yourself or visible also to all of the admin users. The reports are always by default only visible to you, whoever's creating this. So make sure to toggle this button on if you want other people to also see it. From there, you can also, of course, delete your report. And we can also schedule this report. To schedule a report, you will firstly need to select the recipients, so who you want to send this report to. From there, you can choose how often this report should be sent and also what date it should be sent on. And lastly, when we click to save report, you will then be able to find it in your custom reports overview, just like so. Thank you for watching. Hope you now feel that you know how to start creating your own reports in the Teamtailor platform. And remember, if you encounter any issues or you have any questions, you can always reach out to our support via the chat in your platform. Happy recruiting!